Hello, everyone. We are going to talk about a game that I played a long time ago. This game, I believe, is ancient to some people's standards, but it's a game that I'm quite fond of. I obviously didn't play this when it first came out, but I kind of fell in love with it for a period. I think I was in high school, and that game is Star Control 2, also known as the Ur-Quan Masters. This is a game that was released on the DOS and the Panasonic 3DO. At some point, the 3DO port was made open source, and a fully functioning remaster of sorts was made from that, which you can actually download right now for free. So I would encourage you to do that if you think the game looks kind of interesting. Star Control 2 is a space shootery, sandbox, galaxy exploring, adventure, some role-playing elements. It's got a lot going on. And I find it to be a very creative and interesting game, especially for when it was made. And I think that's really what endeared me to the game, despite the fact that I'm not particularly good at it. I've never actually beaten it. It's quite demanding at times. But I find it very interesting. And I remember feeling kind of like, man, I wish something like this could come out today. That would be amazing. And here we are, many, many years later, and the situation has gotten a bit chaotic. I don't think this story has really been covered that much, so I'm going to kind of talk through it a little. Star Control was made by a company called Toys for Bob, and that company actually still exists today, and the creators of the series still work for them. I think recently they've kind of left, but they actually went on to make the Skylanders games, which was pretty successful for a time, even though it was definitely not within my age range. But at some point, the rights to the Star Control series, which I think had ended up under Atari's control, those were purchased by another company called Stardock, which makes the Galactic Civilization series, among other things. So for the past 4 years or so, Stardock has been making a Star Control reboot, I believe, called Star Control Origins, and it's actually set to come out in a few months. Now, the interesting thing to note about this is that from what we have heard, it sounds like Stardock only purchased the name of the series. They didn't really purchase any of the storyline elements and the sort, so that's why it's a reboot. And according to the creators of Star Control, there were repeated attempts to get them involved in the development, probably because since they are the creators, they can give the okay to use elements of the plot from Star Control 2. But more importantly, all of the ships and alien species, which I think are really the big reason that that game is memorable to a lot of people. Now, the creators of Star Control refused to do this several times, but it always seemed like they were in good spirits. They were happy that a new game was being made, even if they couldn't really be a part of it. However, it was announced that they were going to make their own Star Control game. This would be an actual sequel to Star Control 2. That's the plan. We really don't know anything about this game. I'm not really sure if it's actually in development, because the problem is that not that long after it was announced, Stardock decided to sue the creators because they are alleging that they don't actually own the rights to any of this stuff. Stardock owns everything and always has owned everything, and they're just suing to protect their property and presumably to get the rights to those things which they might not actually own. It's messy and legal, and I'm not going to pretend I really understand the details. All I have to go off of are the sides and what they've said. And I consider this situation unfortunate. I'm not really sure if I want to play Star Control Origins anyway. I might. I'd have to look into it a little more. It's kind of sad knowing that there's this big legal drama clouding the game. But I think what disappoints me more is that the creators of Star Control launched a GoFundMe, and they're asking for $2 million in order to help fight this battle. And there's nothing wrong with saying, we are going to fight this. We need to. We believe our stance is genuine. This is not really the kind of thing where I think charity should be involved. And it kind of makes me a little upset. I just don't think it's right to be asking fans to fund this much cash so that there can be a lengthy and long litigation that isn't really going to make anybody happy. I mean, the best case scenario here is probably that one of these two Star Control games won't be able to be sold. So I think it's really unfortunate for the fans. Granted, I don't know how many fans of Star Control there really are out there. I kind of just stumbled upon it. But this sort of situation where fans are being kind of encouraged to get drawn into legal battles, it's happened before, and it just seems it's totally out of people's depth. I really don't think creators, if they have to sue to get what they want, I really don't think it's right to try to drag fans into it. I mean, the truth will come out in court. That's kind of the point of court. So I think that it's not appropriate to try to get the battle going one way or the other before the litigation has even started, because that's really what matters. I don't think it matters what fans think. They're not going to have any sway. The judge does not know what star control is and probably won't care about what people on the internet think. So it's an unfortunate situation, and I hope it can be resolved without a court case. I really don't see why they can't come to some kind of settlement. But from what the Toys for Bob guys have said, Stardock did attempt to settle, and it was basically a lose-lose kind of situation. I don't know if that's true. I just thought I would kind of talk about it a little here. But what I do know is that Star Control 2, the Ur-Quan Masters, is available for free download. You cannot buy it legally anymore due to this lawsuit, so I would encourage people to check it out however they can, give it a try, or maybe just watch videos of it. I think it's a really interesting game, not the kind of game I can see myself doing a real review of or anything. I think it's very old and a bit tricky to wrap your head around in a lot of ways. It's not my era of computer game or video game, but I think it's kind of an interesting artifact, and I think there's a lot that can be taken from it, and I think has been taken indirectly from it. I think that there are a few science fiction series that have been inspired by the kind of space opera stuff in Star Control. So if you like that sort of thing, give this a look, and everyone, please, if you're interested, don't donate money to either side. It's not really what you should be doing with your money, in my opinion. If you actually are familiar with Star Control, please leave a comment telling me what your favorite species is. And I hope to see you soon with some more video content.